We're supposed to be the most connected generation in the history of the world, right? And yet, we're facing this silent epidemic, a weird paradox that's quietly reshaping everything. So today, let's dig into that. We're going to explore the hidden architecture of modern loneliness.
And look, this isn't just about feeling a little down or sad. We are talking about a full-blown public health crisis. The research is absolutely crystal clear. Chronic loneliness is as damaging to our physical health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, every single day. That's the scale of the problem we're dealing with.
So this brings us to the central mystery we're trying to solve here. With literally infinite ways to connect right at our fingertips, why are we experiencing record levels of isolation? What is fundamentally broken in the way we're all living?
To really understand this, we first need to take a hard look at the landscape we're living in. It's a world that feels incredibly full, but, as you'll see, is increasingly defined by what's missing.
Think about it this way. We've built these incredible digital bridges that can span continents in an instant. But here's the paradox. While we were all busy building them, the very ground beneath our real-world social lives, our communities, our neighborhoods, it was crumbling away.
The first major force driving this change is, well, it's something we can't easily stop. It's like a demographic freight train, and it's already barreling down the tracks at full speed.
Just take a look at South Korea. Back in the 1950s, it was a society built on large, bustling, interconnected families. But fast forward to the projections for 2060, and you see a starkly different picture. A nation with streets falling quiet, simply because the children have all but vanished.
And no, this is not science fiction. It's being driven by this one number, 0.72. That is South Korea's fertility rate. The number of children per woman has absolutely plummeted. It's the lowest ever recorded in human history. A society, quite literally, isn't replacing itself.
And the consequence of that is just staggering. By 2060, in societies just like this one out of every 2 people will be a senior citizen, half the population. The entire structure of society as we know it is being turned completely upside down. The safety nets we've relied on for millennia are just disappearing. Family support evaporates. We're looking at a future where nearly a third of the elderly will have no children, no siblings to lean on. The fundamental social DNA of civilization is being rewritten right before our very eyes.
But demographics are only half the story. The other driver is the very thing that was supposed to bring us all together. Instead, it feels like we're drowning in a sea of what's now being called digital slop.
The data here is just shocking. In just the last decade, the number of young people who see their friends in person every single day has fallen off a cliff. It's been cut in half. The spaces for real-world connection are just shrinking.
For centuries, we used social lubricants like alcohol that, for all their faults, helped turn strangers into friends. Now, younger generations are drinking far less, which, don't get me wrong, is a huge win for public health. But we haven't found a replacement for that social function. Instead, some are turning to substances like cannabis, which often can lead to more withdrawal, not less.
And stepping right into this void is AI slop. So what is it? It's this tidal wave of soulless, machine-generated content. Think about those bizarre, auto-generated recipe articles that make no sense, or those endless streams of videos that just feel empty. It's a black hole, and it's designed for one purpose: to harvest our attention.
And this kicks off a really nasty, vicious cycle. First, our screens are flooded with this slop. Second, our attention gets captured by it. Third, every minute we spend on that meaningless content is a minute we're not spending on real human interaction. And the result, we become more atomized, more divided, and fundamentally more alone.
So let's just zoom out for a second. We've seen the demographic train and the digital flood. What does all this mean on a grander, more human scale? Where does this leave us?
There's this beautiful but kind of haunting metaphor from cosmology that just perfectly captures our situation. We are becoming like void galaxies, those lonely, isolated galaxies that just drift through the vast, empty deserts of the universe. We're like lonely fireflies in a dark ocean, growing too far apart to light up the night together.
When you really think about it, the universe is almost entirely empty. Just a vast expanse of cold, dark nothingness. And on that cosmic scale, our individual lives, our worries, our triumphs, well, they can feel completely invisible, almost meaningless.
But here's the turn. That cosmic loneliness isn't a reason for despair. It's the exact reason our connections are so vital. In an otherwise silent universe, our shared experience is the only sound that matters.
And this gets to the ultimate takeaway. If we are the only little pockets of consciousness in this void capable of experiencing love, joy, and yeah, even arguing about pineapple on pizza, then our relationships are it. They are the only things that give this vast, empty universe any meaning at all.
So that leaves us with a final question. And it's not about technology or demographics anymore, it's about a choice. If our connections are the sole source of meaning in an otherwise meaningless universe, how will we choose to show up? For our friends, for our families, for the strangers who are just as adrift in this dark ocean as we are? That's the question we all have to answer.